So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how we can run our local blockchain and how we can interact with it. So in this tutorial, we are going to mainly deal with two different methods. We are going to use the Geth tool and we are going to use the ETH CLI tools to interact with our local Ganache blockchain network. So if you have not installed Ganache CLI already, you can follow this documentation and you can learn how you can install it. It's very simple. You need to have npm installed in your system, and after that you can run this npm install command to install Ganache CLI. But in our system, we have already installed Ganache CLI, so we don't need to run the installation steps. So we'll straight away move forward to starting our blockchain. So before starting our blockchain, we can also check the version of Ganache CLI so we can confirm that it is installed correctly. And so for that, I am just opening VS Code and I'm also opening the terminal from VS Code as well. So let's just wait for it to get installed, to get started. So our terminal is open now. So we will just run this Ganache CLI version, and on running this command, we will get the version of Ganache CLI that has been installed. So as you can see, it is 7.9.0. And after that, to start the blockchain, you can simply run this Ganache CLI command, but running this command multiple times will generate different set of private keys and public keys for the nodes. So to keep it simple and same for all our execution, we can run this with Ganache CLI M test seed. So M is for the mnemonic parameter, which ensures that the same accounts or same keys are generated every time we run this command. And initially all the accounts are topped up with 100 ethers by Ganache, but if we want, we can increase this to 1000 by adding this E parameter as well. So we will now run this command to start our blockchain network, and we will hit enter. And other than that, we can also run this Ganache CLI help command to learn about what are the things that we can do with our Ganache blockchain network. So it will also be a good idea for you to explore it. And as you can see that 10 accounts have been given to us with 1000 ethers loaded on each account. And we've also got their private keys. Other than that, this is the default gas price of our network. And we have also got the chain ID, as well as this is the address where the blockchain is visible, blockchain is up and running. So now we will move forward to the next steps of connecting on or interacting with it. So we will let it run in this particular terminal. We will just open a new terminal tab, and once it is open, now we need to start off with our Geth tool. So for the Geth tool, you can install it by following this particular tutorial, but in our case, it is already installed. So we'll just check the Geth version here by running this command. And as you can see, it is all installed perfectly fine. So now we are going to attach our blockchain network to this tool. So to do that, we have the Geth attach command. So when we run this particular command, what it is going to do is that it is going to connect the tool with our local blockchain network, and it will initialize this tool in a way. So now we are into the Geth tool. So now we will run this command, the Ethereum commands, to do multiple things with our blockchain network. So first things first, we will just try to list all the accounts that are present in our blockchain network, all the nodes. So if we run this eth.accounts command and we hit enter, as you can see, we get a response in a list. We are getting the public keys of all the nodes, and we can confirm that this same thing by going back here, and we can confirm it from this part as well, and we will find out that both are same. Now we can also check the current block number of our network, and we can hit enter, and the current block number of our network is 0. And there's also interesting thing that you can do after you have run a command or a function from the Geth tool. You can go back to your blockchain networks terminal, and you can see all the commands that are getting run here. So this is also a very interesting way to find out that yes, actually your network is working, and it is your network who is providing all the details to the Geth. So that's a very good thing. So now let's do something more interesting about it. We can perform a transaction here. So we'll copy this command. So it is the eth.send transaction method, where you provide the public address of the account from where you want to send the ethers, and then you send the receiver's address, and after that you mention the number of ethers that you are trying to send. So let's send a bigger number. So let's try to send 100 ethers now, and now we will hit enter. So we got a response, and in this response we have got a hexadecimal number. This is nothing but this is a transaction hash. You can think of it as a verification or validation of your transaction, and it is a receipt number kind of thing. And We are going to use this transaction hash to get the transaction receipt of this transaction. And before that, we can also move away to the terminal of our Ganache blockchain network. And you can see here also we are getting the same transaction hash. It is showing us what is the gas that has been used and also the block number. So now we will go back to our tool, and now we are going to run the get transaction receipt command. So now we are going to paste the transaction hash that we had in the previous step. So first of all, we will just copy it out. And once it is copied, let's paste it here. And it is pasted. So we hit enter, we get the whole details about the transaction, like the block hash or the contract address, like the gas that has been used. And it also gives certain logs and the type of the transaction. So everything we can get from this get transaction receipt command. So now we can also check the balance. So for that we have this command. So we are using the Web3 library. So basically the data that we receive is in WEI format, WEI currency, and we convert that to ethers. And this is the particular address of the node for which we are trying to fetch the value. So let's hit enter. So we have 899 ethers. So this is the address from where we have already sent 100 ethers, and this point that we are seeing here is because that there is a transaction fee that the sender has to give, and for that reason we are getting this. We can also check it out for some other addresses as well. For example, in the previous transaction we sent it to this particular address. So let's just check what is the balance there, and we can do it like this. We'll just change the address here. So once we paste the address here, and we can now we hit enter, and after hitting enter it is done. We can see that we have 1100 ethers present. So now we go to the next step. So Ethereum Geth is done. So now we will just exit from this tool by clicking exit. And now we can go ahead with the Eth CLI tool. So for that, let's just open a new terminal so it will be clean and easy to understand. You can also install the Eth CLI using npm install command, but as it is already installed, so we will just run this eth command to check if everything is done. So the version is there, and you also get some idea about the usage as well. So now here, as we have attached the network to our Geth, we also have to attach it to Eth CLI as well. So this is the format how we can do it. It's Eth network, and then after a colon we will add, and this is the name we want to give to our network, and this is the label that we want to provide to our network. I provided it as mynet, and this is the particular address of our local blockchain network. So now when we hit enter, the network is getting added, and we'll wait for a few seconds, and it is done. So now we can see if our network is added to it or not. We'll just hit enter. So Eth network lists all the networks that are added to this tool, and as you can see, there are already 4 networks that are already added. So these are the mainstream Ethereum network blockchain networks. So now we also have mynet as well. This is our local blockchain network. So it's totally added. So now we are ready to work with it as well. And now we can run this Ethereum address balance command to fetch the balance of that particular Ethereum account. And when we hit enter, after some time we've got a balance, and we have got balance in the form of ethers as well. So this was about how we can use Eth CLI and Geth tools for interacting with our local blockchain network. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.